Alright, so Mumbo requires 10 Mumbo tokens this time. There's another Mumbo token back behind Mumbo. There's also stuff up in the rafters, more red feathers. Now you're going to want to come up here and check because every once in a while there's something a little bit more valuable than feathers up, or other things like that up there. So for 10 tokens, he will change us into a gator. Mumbo need new boots. Run! But yeah, the gator is actually one of my favorite transformations in this game because it's actually one of the most competent, I'd say. Most of the other transformations in this game are kind of like the termite in the first level. You can't really attack. You're basically just doomed to sort of soak up damage, and that's a painful proposition, especially when you're as small and helpless as a termite. But the alligator actually has an attack. He can bite stuff. And he can walk through this poisonous water, or swamp water, I guess. It's not necessarily poisonous, it's just swamp water. Without taking damage, meaning that we can collect items like these things right here without having to worry about wasting Wonderwing feathers or about trying to find a pair of wader boots. There's also one other thing the gator can do that is a Jiggy that only it can get, that we're going to want to make sure to grab before we leave this area. Right up here, inside the gator's nostril, there's a few more notes and an arena. And this is the fellow who constructed this arena, Mr. Vile. We're gonna play your little game. This is easy. Well, he says it's easy, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Basically, our goal is to eat more of these things than he does. So, the actual best way to do this is to walk in front of him and eat the ones that he's about to eat, because that simultaneously, not only does it improve your score, but it denies him his score. So, it's kind of like that slamming switch game in Banjo or Donkey Kong 64. It's called Banjo Kong 64. That where your best strategy is to deny your opponent. So, you know, if you spend even part of this in front of him, grabbing all the ones that he's trying to grab, you're going to win. This first round is not difficult. Now, again, watch me lose just because I said it's not difficult. Yeah, see, I won. But the first round isn't the end. Now we have to play harder one. Eat reds, avoid yellows. Here we go. Again, you're going to want to try to move to deny him, or at least find an area like this one where a lot of the red ones are clustered, and grab them all to help keep your score up. Oh, he's pounding me. The second round is definitely more difficult, but it's not impossible, at least not yet. This game is going to get harder. You can see that there's actually a kind of an item sitting back there that we don't have yet. It's kind of transparent, like the wading boots were before we were able to get them. So, yeah, you're actually supposed to come back to this level from a later level and play this minigame again. Oh, time means we lose. And guess what? In the swamp, winner eats the loser. But, you know, we can just leave it to this platform area back here and then come back and talk to him again and get restarted on the game. Yes, we're going to do this. We're going to start again from game 2, so I don't have to cut. Thank you, Mr. Vile. That's very nice of you. Apparently he's greedy with his time as well as his, I don't know what he called these. Red jumblies? Something like that? I'm gonna stick close to him. I'm gonna try to just snatch the ones that he's going for, if I can ever actually eat anything. There we go, we're tied. Darn it. Oh, man. This is going to end up being one of those games, isn't it? Alright. Well, let's just leave. I'll come back later when we have the item to do it. And that makes this much easier, so. I'm not completing this level. We're going to complete it. We're just gonna have to come back after we get that item, so. It makes it this makes this whole thing much easier. So anyway, we only have 2 bars of health, but honestly, there isn't a whole lot left in this swamp that can hurt the gator. I've killed pretty much everything that will really do you damage. These flibbits are really almost no threat at all, thanks to the multi-hit from the gator's bite. I mean, they will purposely attack you, but they're basically just running to their own deaths. So, you gotta watch. You can't get caught on some geometry in this level, though. Especially with the gator, because of some of the jagged edges and stuff. So you're gonna want to keep your eye on it. Anyway, let's head back towards the platforming area. I believe that's that way. Yep, where the trees and stuff were, and we'll go and grab those collectibles that were on the ground that we missed before. Now there's a couple of things that I noticed that I didn't do while I was still Banjo Kazooie, so I'm going to have to change back to Banjo Kazooie and finish this area off with them instead of just finishing it as a gator as I was planning on doing. But whatever, it's not like it's that important. Okay, we can grab 5 more notes. Extra life. We're still looking for that other honeycomb piece, though. And you know my history with honeycomb pieces. I spent a lot of time in Clanker's Cavern trying to get one that I couldn't remember where it was. The other one, I know the other honeycomb piece in this level is somewhere here in the swamp, unless I'm wrong, and it's up on top of one of the bulrushes. And I remember them one being there and one being there, but obviously I was wrong because one of them was in Mumbo's hut. So I could be very well be wrong about both of them. Let me see. What else do we need to do as the gator? Let's head off this way. There might be something we can do over here as the gator. I don't remember, honestly, if there is or not. We already killed those flibbits. Let's try to check the water back here. There might be, like, some more notes or something back here. Yep, there's the last 5 notes we gotta get. Okay, sweet. So we'll at least get all 100 notes in our first time through this level, so that's good. We still have to find that other honeycomb piece, though. I have a feeling it's up on top of one of the bulrushes, and I just haven't found it. Because that's the kind of thing that I tend to forget about. It's probably up on top of this one here, actually. So, let's see. I'm going to give Mr. Vile one more try. I'll probably just cut it if I don't win, and then I'll go back to Mumbo's and get changed back so we can finish most of this level off. Whew, just beat him that time. Man, that was lucky. Only eat what's shown at the top of the screen. Let's go. So this is the same game as the last one, only we can eat the yellow ones now too, but only if it shows them up at the top of the screen. So the computer will randomly choose which ones we're supposed to be eating at any given time, and that'll give us points. So you have to keep one eye on the top of the screen and one eye on Mr. Vile to make sure that when it switches, you're not caught out of position, and he's got a whole bunch of them around him that he can eat, and you've got nothing. It does switch fairly regularly, though, so you can kind of keep a clock in your head to say, okay, it should be switching right about now, and I'm going to hang out by these red ones and just eat them as it switches and just grab them and get a really nice lead. The second game is honestly a bit harder than this one. This one isn't easy by any means. But I think the second game is a little bit harder simply because in this game, Mr. Vile is just as confused as you are most of the time and just spends his time running around trying to find stuff to eat. And we won first try. Sweet. Oh, and one other thing I figured out about him. I'm not going to play that. No thanks. But yeah, one thing I noticed is that every time he bites you, when you lose 3 cells off your health bar, not 1. That's why I was so close to death after the first time I tried that game, is because that was enough to almost kill me, just straight up. Losing twice, if I didn't have those extra honeycomb pieces that I do, I'd be dead. Go ahead and grab those. Now, since we are an alligator, we can actually take a shortcut to get to Mumbo's to be able to change back just by going under here. Yes, I saw that Wonderwing feather in the corner. I don't need it right now. I'm going to go ahead and switch back, and we can finish this level off. Since we actually got Mr. Vile done without having to come back. How awesome is that? How many people can say that they did that? Because that's one of the things that most people remember about this game as being one of the harder Jiggies to get is Mr. Vile. And that honestly wasn't as bad as I remember it being. So I don't know if I'm just good or if I just got really lucky. So, but honestly, considering I don't have to come back to this level then, I'd rather be lucky than good. So we'll just take this way out instead of going the long way. Waste some Wonderwing. Like, what else am I going to use it for? I don't care. Alright, so we've got a couple more things we need to do. We need to finish off getting the last Croctus. We also need to go to that area where the giant pink egg was that I didn't point out, but I'm sure you guys saw as I was going past it. And that should do it. So the last Croctus should be back behind Tank Top here. We can go ahead and this way. It should be over here on the left. Yep. I can't remember, no, wait, hang on. This might not be the last one. I think there's 5, not 4. Get out of here. Alright. Nope, there's just 4. Never mind. I thought that there was another one, but I guess I was wrong. Doo-doo. Da-dum-da-dum-dum. Guess what? 9 Jiggies. We're only 1 away from completing this level. Of course, we still have that last honeycomb piece to get. Don't think I forgot about it. I just have to remember where it is. So yeah, let's go ahead and check over by that big egg first, because I have a feeling that's where it's at, and I don't remember if I'm wrong or not at this point, and I'm a little frightened about that. So I believe it's off here to the left, correct? Yes, okay. Alright, so yeah, let's wait for the leaf here to get here, and we'll completely ignore the leaf, and jump right in the water, and then end up here. Oh, there's a Mumbo token up here. Okay, so we still have to find that other honeycomb piece. Great. Alright, jump up here. I think I remember another place where it could be, but I have to do something about that. So yeah, this is fairly simple. You just have to hit the little bandages on the egg in different spots using different moves, or, well, using a couple moves that are the same and a couple that are different. Beak Buster, Slam, and then your ZB attack for this one. Or you can just jump on it, either way. Or jump attack it. And then Beak Buster again. And our Jiggy. Very simple, very simple. And that completes all of the Jiggies in Bubblegloop Swamp. I am so glad to have that done, simply because I didn't want to have to come back to this level later on to finish Mr. Vile. So, yeah, good times. Alright, so we still have to find that other honeycomb piece, though. Again, I think I have an idea of where it might be, but I'm not sure. So I'm probably just going to cut to my finding it, and hopefully it won't be too far ahead. Well, it looks like I found that other honeycomb piece. It's actually inside of Tank Top. Come back in here after you finish Tip Top in his band's thing. Jump up on Tip Top's podium and just backflip and grab it. Or flip-flap jump and grab it, rather. So yeah, that's it. I believe that's the last thing in this level. Let me double check my totals to make sure I don't leave prematurely. Yep, we're done. Took us about 40 minutes. Not bad at all, considering that Clanker's Cavern took me much longer, since finding that other honeycomb piece took me much longer. For some reason, I thought the honeycomb piece was actually sitting in the swamp, and you had to collect it as the gator or using Wonder Wing, but I'm glad to be proved wrong. Anyway, Bubblegloop Swamp. It's not my favorite level in this game by a long shot, but I like it better than I like Clanker's Cavern, and is I guess the main thing that I don't like is the abundance of narrow, twisty little platforms like this one, especially when the controls in this game aren't nearly as precise as I'd like them to. I mean, they're tight, don't get me wrong, but they're not precise, per se, so